Hey guys, welcome to Bite Me. This is season 2, episode 22, interview with Mermaid Mama Maggie from TikTok. American politics. A gateway into comedy if I ever saw one. I mean, come on, they're begging for it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Trump. These are America's leaders. Why? How? You almost have to laugh or else you'll cry. And I have. Admittedly, as a child, I never quite understood or appreciated SNL's Weekend Update until I became an American voter myself. And then suddenly it clicked with me. We're always going to have to choose between a douchebag and a turd sandwich. A lot of people like to stay out of politics, but to ignore that kind of material completely, not my style. And that's why today I brought on someone who thinks like I do, Mama Mermaid Maggie from TikTok. Maggie, would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Maggie Reed, also known as Mermaid Mama Maggie on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I am a political TikToker. I try to make light of the current situations that we find ourselves in and laugh as much as I can. Because like you said, if you're not gonna laugh, you might as well be crying. So that's how I've kind of gotten through the last
Yeah.
year.
I don't know if you've seen Don't Look Up, but the part where she says that they aren't even smart enough to be the evil geniuses you give them credit for, like that resonated with me.
Right.
It's terrible. So
I feel like every day is like another episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Something happens, you're like, is this real life? What universe am I living in? Now we're back in like crazy COVID hell right now, but I think we've all just gotten kind of numb to the experience.
The last desensitized. It's true.
And happy anniversary of the insurrection, by the way.
Today, this episode won't air for a few weeks, but Maggie and we are meeting on the day of the Capitol insurrection anniversary, which I thought was fitting since she and I are both technically political comedians. And I think it's weird that they call it the anniversary. Like, anniversaries are to commemorate things.
I know, right?
What the fuck are we commemorating today, dude?
Treason.
Oh my God, it's just nuts to me that, like, you had George Floyd, and then they called BLM rioters. But then you had people who actually went into the building that makes the laws for us as American people, and they're like, oh, it's the insurrection, like, so delicate and intellectual about it. And it's just irritating.
You've got people screaming about, well, the BLM, they burned down a Target. Well, there's a difference between something like that and trying to subvert an election, trying to be finalized in Congress. I mean, are you kidding me?
They're terrorists.
It's surreal that it all happened. And even after the fact, weeks later, it was like, did that happen?
So like, on that note, like, how do you think that we ended up with these? I mean, by the time you have a president who was a reality TV star who's tweeting, like, how do you think that we ended up with these clowns in the White House? Was it gradual, or do you think it was always this bad?
I think it's been gradual, but I think the huge kind of catalyst was social media and misinformation. And in my opinion, that this has all been a huge design to destabilize the United States. I feel like it's long game.
I can see that.
The more misinformation is out there and the more we are divided, the more destabilized our country is, and the more we are pitted against each other and not keeping our eye on actually what people are actually doing.
Critical thinking.
Yes, and what's actually truly happening. We're sitting here fighting back and forth with each other about, if something even, I mean, honestly, we're talking about if something even existed or it didn't, like, did it happen? Or was there voter fraud? I mean, it's
Loch Ness Monster. We don't know.
Pizzagate, weird stuff. I mean,
we're
sitting here talking about, just kind of proving things. And while the capitalist society is in there just swooping in and doing what they do, and our government is, taking off.
It's a weird time as a society. I would say, you seem like you're Gen X millennial era. Mm-hmm. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But we were there.
I'm a geriatric millennial, apparently.
Elder millennial, yes. Me as well. Yes. We are saged. We are wizened. we're the last generation that was around before the internet existed, you know?
Right.
Like I was like 11 or 12 when it came about. I remember printing off pictures of Bugs Bunny, just thinking that was the shit, looking up fart jokes. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it's just so weird that this is the most advanced we've ever been as a society and the dumbest at the same time. And I believe that at one point that historians will look back and say these were the most barbaric of times.
For sure. And I mean, going back to what you said, though, I do blame a lot of what has happened on, like I said, social media. I mean, I think we all know that uh, places like Facebook have
Yeah.
had a huge role in the outcome of what people believe and the information that they've been fed. Uh, studies have shown that the more information you consume, even in a negative way, the algorithms will just keep feeding it to you, right?
Yeah.
And so these people
We're
get,
all seeing different things on our phones
yeah, and they
for the
all
sake of $1.
exactly. And then, you talk about conspiracy theories and things like that. These people get taken in down the spiral and the rabbit hole goes so deep and they
It
have
does.
absolutely just kind of lost it. I mean,
Yeah.
do you remember when people were talking about vaccines being magnetic and spoons sticking to you? So it's like I always have to remind myself of those crazy things. Oh yeah, we're in this era of time where people think that vaccines are magnetic, or I mean, you name
Yeah.
a crazy conspiracy. I mean, they're all insane, but
I
this
don't
is where we are.
people saying that what was it that George Soros was sacrificing small children.
Yes,
I mean,
Hillary
it's
Clinton, George Soros, yeah,
it's out of
Pizzagate,
hand.
yeah, it's
So we
all
talk about, like, you brought up blame. So when you talk about blame, you talk about the news, which I equally blame Mark Zuckerberg and all of that shit. But like also for me, I feel like it's safe to say like baby boomers blame the millennials and Gen X, seem to just want to be like stand on the sidelines. But like other than the news, like do you feel the same way? Like who is really to blame for a celebrity becoming president and then next thing you know this is our American politics? Like you say the news, but are there other factors?
well, it's hard for me not to blame boomers. Um, but, I mean, Ronald Reagan was, another celebrity president that was also, voted in
Yeah.
back in the day. But, I think, in my opinion, boomers have kind of let us down. They were a really great generation that had so much prosperity and so much given to them and so much affluence
Yeah.
just at their fingertips. And they kind
They
of
just said fuck you to the rest of us.
they gave into the capital. They gave into capitalism.
Yeah.
They're also the generation of like the 60s where it was like, there were those ideas
How
of
did that happen? How did Woodstock turn into QAnon? Someone explain this shit.
little boxes on the hillside. Everyone
It's all the
subscribed.
acid.
Yeah, well, they also subscribed to the American dream, I think, and
Yeah.
the American, which I talked about it. I would talk about this in length on my show before. The American dream is a pyramid scheme from top to
Yeah.
bottom, right? It's like
That's
it's just a multimedia pyramid
a beautiful
scheme,
way to put it. It's a
right?
poetic way to put it.
Where it's
I
just
never thought of
well, we're all paying into somebody else to somebody else to somebody else,
it's
and
an MLM.
it is.
Oh
It's
my God. I think you just changed my life.
it's a good one though, right? It's true.
Yeah.
It's
I'll never look at it the same again. I mean, it's absolutely true. It just trickles on down to the bottom and to the point where instead of making money, you are paying it to be
and
a part of
we're
something you're
all
not.
and really well, we all have just like boxes of like really ugly leggings in our garage
Oh
that
my
are
God.
soaked in water. That's
Yeah.
kind of the American dream now. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, LuLaRoe, and that's what I'm talking about you.
No, yeah,
That's how it kind of feels at this point, and
yeah.
it doesn't trickle down the pyramid.
No.
So that's where kind of we're at right now, and I definitely do blame the boomers, but I know that there are so many great boomers out there that didn't want it to turn out this way, and I don't think there are people that could have even imagined that technology would advance this fast. And
It escalated quickly.
I love how you said it. It escalated quickly. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
We're talking
I
in our
think
lifetime. We didn't have the internet, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what do we do all day?
It's such an experimental phase, really. Metaverse scares the shit out of me,
Oh, I
but
agree. Well, Mark Zuckerberg,
is he human? I don't know.
I will tell you, I live in, like I told you, we were talking before the show, I live in Silicon Valley. So I'm surrounded by people that work, like probably 5 or 6 of my friends actually work at Facebook.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh.
it's a trip. It's a trip.
Are
The
you
same way.
sure that they're still them and not like clones of themselves?
No, they are, but they actually do have to now. They have to go meet in the metaverse. They have to wear the goggles and they meet in the metaverse a couple times a day. They're required to do that for meetings. I'm giving away Facebook secrets now.
No, I hope they're
The
paid
world is gonna, and I don't think Mark Zuckerberg sitting in his dorm room when he first made his like hot or not list in Harvard. Was that Harvard where he went, right? I think. I don't know.
he went to the moon or some shit. I don't
No,
know where
but
the
he
fuck.
he started Facebook as a hot or not list, and then
Yeah.
it grew from there. I don't think he could have ever imagined, especially now that we're talking on the day of the insurrection, that his hot or not list would have had the impact that it would, and that it could have affected our nation, our election, the way that it did. Just
He
the
has
whole
too much.
outcome of that place.
Like I think what went as what was like at one point in time like a hobby, like now he has too much power. Like I think for him and Bezos, I don't even think it's about the money anymore,
Oh no.
And like it's something else. It's a Jesus complex, a
Well,
Jesus.
they have so much money. I mean, and if you have that much money, they literally can do whatever they want. But
Yeah.
just because you can do doesn't mean you should do.
You
I
mean
mean,
you shouldn't build a penis rocket and go into space or buy an entire island in Hawaii
I know we're talking
where
Bez,
you kick out the inhabitants?
Elon Musk. I mean,
Oh my God. Don't even get
all
me
these guys.
started.
I mean, Richard Branson. Remember that it was like the 3 guys, the billionaire space race. I mean, in
Yeah.
a time where we are living in a billionaire space race, we've had an insurrection,
Hmm.
a billionaire space race, and a pandemic, and massive starvation around the world, and droughts, and all sorts of things. This is all happening at the same time. You can't make this stuff up, folks.
Can't make it up. But
No.
like you and I, we both laugh and make others laugh about the shit show that is, the things that we're discussing, American democracy. But we also have kids. We talked a
Yes,
little
we
bit about
do.
that too. Like, does it worry you what the future holds in store for them if we keep heading down? I mean, that's kind of a rhetorical question, but like, how do you feel about that?
Absolutely. I think more than anything, what I've seen in the last few years is how cold the world really can be,
Yes.
especially when we're faced in a moment where, let's just take the pandemic, for example, a
Yeah.
moment where we could have all come together and been
Saved
something,
lives.
done something right, really, really showed what humanity could do.
Yeah.
Um, we kind
And
of
we
felt
just took
that,
it
and
and
I worry about that, and I worry about our kids growing up with social media, especially
yeah.
now. I mean, I know what kind of stuff is popular on TikTok. It's a lot of controversy. It's a lot harder to be funny on
Oh my
TikTok,
God, there's shit. Oh my gosh.
right?
My
You
kids.
and I know it's a lot harder to be funny and make people laugh and be lighthearted instead of all the time.
It's
Um,
true. They focus on the negative, and then you have the whole, like you talked about how we're each seeing different things on our phones and the algorithm. And I have to tell, and my kids, it blows their minds that I have a following and they don't. And they're like, well, but how? And my daughter's making videos about Jake Paul. And I'm like, you need to be authentic and you need to believe in what you're saying. And then we'll talk to our son who gets these crazy ideas on TikTok. And we have to tell him, like, you cannot believe every fucking thing you see on the internet. Like,
that's right.
you have to be conscious about what
Yes.
you're viewing, but they're so immersed in it that like they forget that. And I worry that like my daughter got an Oculus for Christmas from her grandma and she lives on that thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you going to have these human experiences and will they be available for you on this burning planet?
Right.
You
No,
know?
I 100%. I agree with you. And at this point, I don't know what kind of world we're creating for our children.
Yeah.
I do not know, because it's changing so fast, and it has changed so fast. The fact that you and I come from an era where we actually still remember going to the library to go
Yeah.
read a book, to get do, research and to cite information and, find our exact sites or, resources that we needed. Totally different now.
Yeah.
There's not that connection, not that experience. That scares me about
Nothing's
the future.
tangible anymore.
Well, and especially now, these kids are growing up in a world where pandemic, we're not looking at, I like I told you before, I'm a speech language pathologist, and a lot of social pragmatic stuff is always on my mind, especially for, people interacting with one another, being able to understand social cues, being able to read off of one another,
Yeah.
understand
Social cues, they're so important. That's how you and I, that's how people are able to converse, is we can see, unless you have some people have a disability that they aren't able to take social cues. My partner's pretty bad. He doesn't have a disability. He's just a man.
Well, no, and a lot of people have issues with social pragmatic skills.
Oh, really? Okay.
Absolutely. This is especially when you're given, medium like social media where you don't have to interact with people and it's so much easier. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I worry about a world where we're not connecting in that kind
authentic
of way. And we're not even trying, and society as a whole is just not trying to anymore. Because, that being online and wherever, the metaverse may take us in the future, oh my gosh, who knows? We all just might be living in fake realities. Who knows?
It'll be like Wall-E.
Yes.
I feel. Well, on that note, that depressing note, let's take a quick break. Hey guys, welcome back to Bite Me. This is season 2, episode 22, interview with Mermaid Mama Maggie. So Maggie, when we left, we were talking about the dismal abyss that is our world. So to make things lighter, I mean, comedy is our lifeline to sanity, I feel like, for people like you and me. But I feel like, though we do so very little, make a few posts on TikTok, make a joke here and there, we hold together people's mental stability and sanity during times of chaos. I mean, how do you feel about your political satire?
I have loved being creative during this time and taking a sad moment and taking kind of, something that you would normally think is horrible and trying to turn it into something funny, something to laugh at, something to poke fun at, something to think about. Because comedy is, in my opinion, it's top tier.
Me too.
I love comedy. And, honestly, I was a theater major in my undergraduate. And, if you can
I see that in you.
Comedy, you can do anything. Comedy is, like I said, top tier, because if you can make someone laugh, you're making them think, you're touching in on a part of, somebody's soul that, needed to be touched. And, I love making people laugh. My favorite compliments in the world that I ever get on TikTok is, I just spit out my drink, or I just peed my pants because of it. I mean, I die for that. I love making people laugh and knowing that I have done something to make the world a better place in some small, minuscule way. Maybe I also made them think at the same time, but
laughter really is the best medicine. Like, that for you was how you left your mark, and you can die happy knowing that. Like, and it sounds like you surround yourself with, like, I can't hang with people who don't have a sense of humor, and I bet your husband's freaking funny.
My daughter is always saying, Daddy's funnier than you. And I'm like, girl, watch it. That is not true. Mommy's the funny one about it.
Almost kind of misogynist of her to say.
Like, she doesn't know. He's got some good dad jokes, but mommy's the funny one in the house. But
later in life, when she's older, she'll appreciate your humor. He has baseline, like, kid humor, but you have adult humor.
I hope that I pass on my sense of humor to my children. I'm pretty sure I will. And if I can do that, then I know that I've done parenting well. I've done what I needed to do.
Do you have people around you who are not charmed by your political satire, like maybe parents or anybody? Or
like my mother-in-law. She doesn't get
they don't like anything we do.
No, they don't.
No,
they don't. But you know what? I will never stop making jokes, and I'll never stop at least trying to be funny, because, like you said, getting through this time, by means of laughter has been a godsend. I can't imagine just going through this entire time since the pandemic started, you know, Trump being in office and all that without finding something funny about it. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you could not take it seriously. And oh, I forgot
the
what I was.
universe is just one big joke, anyways. So you
Yeah.
might as well laugh about it. That's my feeling.
I think what the coolest thing about TikTok is, and I've talked about this with other TikTokers, is Instagram's for the beautiful people and Twitter's for the celebrities. But TikTok, you can get on there in your sweatpants, talk shit about the president of the United States, and call it a fucking day, man. And
Yep.
that's the American dream.
Agreed. Totally.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the real butts of the joke.
Mhm.
Ted Cruz, Ben Shapiro. Who is worse? Hell, let's throw Tommy Loren in there too.
Oh God.
Man, that's rough. It's rough.
Um, a fun fact. I learned this the other day. Ben Shapiro is related to the little girl that played Matilda in those movies.
I
Mara
wonder if she's a
Wilson.
Republican.
No, she's not. I was reading something about it. She's related to him, and like I think they don't talk because
She don't fuck with him.
yeah, she's like, I don't want anything to do with that guy. But I thought that was an
Nuts.
fun fact.
He's nuts in his voice, and I'm like, how could anybody take this man seriously? And then Ted Cruz, he shapeshifts. I mean, he does. Every time I see this man, he looks different. And Tommy Loren, she's kind of faded back into the shadows since she what did she say? She said she didn't see color to who's the comedian that took over Jon Stewart's show? I forget his name.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said that to him, and he's like, "What do you do at a stoplight?" He's hot.
Tommy Loren, I can't take seriously.
Yeah.
For anytime she starts talking, I turn her off. I can't even take her seriously.
Other white females in this nation are driving me insane, and I just want them to shut up because they're making us all look shitty.
She's doing it for shock and awe. She like that's it's ratings. It's shock and awe for her.
Yeah.
She doesn't make me. I don't give her any credit whatsoever.
I mean, there are people who sell their farts in a jar. I think she should start doing that. If she's looking for shock and awe.
The fart in the jar lady had to go to the hospital.
I know, I saw that.
So, disclaimer, do not eat a lot of beans and yogurt and fart in jars. You might have
That's incredible. I don't even, this is the future. This is.
But if I had to pick which one was the worst, I would say Ted Cruz because, the others are pundits. They're just talking heads.
But he's in it.
He's in office and he is a brown noser. He will do whatever it takes to be in the good graces of whomever is in power.
You know what my partner hates about him is Trump talks shit about Ted Cruz's wife and Ted Cruz just fucking sat there. Where's your loyalty?
He just takes it. And remember, talking about the insurrection, he was like, all on team insurrection. Now he's like, oh, what a terrible thing. We shouldn't, he loves to just play whatever side is going to be politically best for him. And I do not know how the people of Texas keep bringing him back, but he needs to go. Beto O'Rourke, everybody. Beto O'Rourke.
If you inbred is a powerful thing, Maggie, and if you get enough of the same relatives, he
looks like half Wolverine to me. He just had the little like sharp things coming out of his arms. Urgh.
For me, I see a bearded Jabba the Hutt.
I see that.
I don't know. He's just such a piece of trash. They all are. And these are the people who are making laws. So
Ted Cruz. Well, did you see Ron DeSantis?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, so yesterday Ron DeSantis came out. He has been no one's kind of known where he is. Everyone's speculated. It is very obvious that he has probably been suffering with COVID. He came out and did like a whole, speech about things in Florida, and he could barely talk. He was
Oh,
winded. Go check it out. I think you can look it up on, any of the political pages, whatever. But
well,
yeah,
that's sad that he's suffering.
it
No.
is. But
Karma.
karma. I mean, these are the things. He's done nothing to help the people of Florida.
Yeah,
He's hid data. He's hid information, and and it's very apparent that he's not 100% right.
well, I mean, I don't want to wish ill will on anybody, but I'll never complain when there's like one less racist, one less misogynist, one less piece of shit not here to make the world a shittier place for the rest of us. I feel like by the time you're in political office and you're responsible for other lives, because when you're making laws, you are.
Yep.
That, to each their own. The fates will do with you what they will. So I'll have to go check that out though. But
I hear you. Well, but this is why it's so important that everybody gets out and votes in the midterms coming up.
It's
in this
true.
election. I know it feels like it's a million years away because it's November of 2022 midterms.
No, you got to do your research early.
But it's going to come fast, and really we need to hold the offices that we have, and we need to gain more and get some really bad people out of office, because even if you lose like a Ted Cruz or a DeSantis, there's like 5 others just like him waiting to take their spot.
It's true.
It's so important that we do what we can to make this world a better place and get
your vote matters. It fucking
Exactly.
matters. You
It
got to
really
get
does.
down there and vote.
Well,
So
especially
speaking
in certain places,
yeah, like where I live,
Yes.
gotta go fucking vote, man. Please help us turn South Dakota blue, South Dakotans, please. I'm begging you.
Yay.
Ugh. So, speaking of things that we want people to do, it's kind of the end of our show. Do you have anything that you want to plug, Maggie? Anything you want to talk about? Some people do charities, some people do websites, some people say, I just want to tell X person to fuck off. Like what?
Well, I had just finished doing. We just turned in all our profits for the charity that me and my husband were doing. We had a shirt company called Vaxhole, and it was 100% of the profits went to UNICEF to help vaccinate people all over the world. So we just finished that, but the merch is still up there if you want to go check it out at vaxhole.shop. But other than that, you can check me out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll probably be starting my show, Friday Night Highlights, back up again. And I would love to have you back on my show.
I would absolutely
come. Start that back on. But yeah, it's a really good time. I just get it with a bunch of political TikTokers, and we talk shop, talk
nice.
Shit.
It's like here. It's like bite me.
Exactly.
Well, Maggie, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and for spending your time with me. I know that you're probably busy with you are busy with your children. I'm busy with mine. So thank you for donating your time tonight to come talk to us. And for everybody who isn't already following Mermaid Mama Maggie, her TikToks are hilarious and she's gorgeous and she will brighten your day. So with that, we're going to...
You are the best. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks.
It's been my pleasure.
So I'm your host, Brooke. Be sure to check out the Truthful Groomer website, Insta, Twitter, and I'll see you next time on Bite Me.